There's data coming out of the field of neuroscience that suggests that experiences, and more specifically the things that we dwell on in those experiences, have the power to shape our brains. I'm Dr. Lenne Hunt with the Marriage Recovery Center, and there's an important discussion I'd like to have with you today. It centers around that concept that the things that we focus on, the things that our minds settle on, have the power to physically sculpt our brains, rewiring, strengthening them in new ways. And that rewiring causes our brains to be more likely to return to those thoughts and those pathways in the future. That means then that it's really important what we dwell on. This is doubly so when we go through traumatic things. I know that there are a lot of you out there that are living in difficult circumstances, and some of those even center around the marriages that you're in. Marriages that contain emotional abusiveness, physical abusiveness, spiritual, cognitive abusiveness. And those things make an impact on you. They impact every aspect of our being, from our physical health to our cognitive health, our emotional health, our spiritual health. What I want to say to you about that is that there is a way through that. One of the things I love out of the work of the Marriage Recovery Center's founder, Dr. David Hawkins, is a concept that goes by its initials AFGO, AFGO. Dr. Hawkins developed that in his work with one of our men's groups. It stands for Another Fortunate Growth Opportunity. And so it's the idea that we can stand in the midst of unfortunate things, things that have gone wrong, even traumatic things, but we can use them for good, so to speak. We can take the things that have been harmful to us, process them well, and come out on the other side in better shape than we were. And so that's what I want to talk with you a bit about today for those of you who perhaps have been on the receiving side of that abusiveness. There is truth that trauma marks us. And it's not just that it marks us in the moment, in terms of our experiencing trauma, our feeling shocked or saddened or angered or whatever goes with the experience. But it's also that in the aftermath of that, there are messages that we take away from the traumatic events. Messages about our worth, messages about our value, messages about our character. And sometimes those are things that were spoken directly to us by the abusive individual. Names they call us, things that are hurled at us out of their rage and anger. Other times the messages are implied. They come out of the actions that are committed or the things that are not happening that really should have. So what I want to suggest to you is that there's a process wherein we walk you through what's occurred, help you identify the messages that seem to haunt and linger, those things that your mind would kind of naturally gravitate to and that would in turn reshape your brain, that we can get hold of that and begin to process that so that those aren't the takeaway messages that linger with you. We can use those opportunities to strengthen you rather than finding yourself compromised by them in the end. It's about identifying the parts of you that are damaged, bringing those to light, caring for them well. It's about finding your strength in the midst of trauma. It's about finding meaning and understanding of what it is that happened between you and your significant other, knowing how to look at that correctly. So, for example, one of the forms that abusiveness often takes is something called blame shifting, where in the midst of heightened conflict, in the midst of rage, the person who is angry, the person who's acting abusively, says in one way or another that it's your fault, that you caused this, that you deserve this because you caused this, that can be part of the takeaway that we have out of those sort of difficult, traumatic moments. That is not something that you want to have linger in your head. That's not something that you want to dwell on, because it sets you up with that belief in the future that we deserve the mistreatment we get. And that is not a place you want to be. So I want to give you an invitation. If you find yourself in some difficult places, please come and let's talk together. Let's use those moments in your life as growth opportunities for you. Let's turn this thing around for good, this thing that was meant for evil. We at the Marriage Recovery Center would love to help you with that. I would personally enjoy having that conversation with you and invite you to give us a call. You'll see a number appear at the bottom of the screen. That's the number to our client care team, a group of really capable people who'd be more than happy to get you hooked up so that we could have that conversation and get you on the way to healing. Thanks so much for listening today.